What up, y'all? It's your girl, Chelsea Nicole, and I am back like I never left for another episode of Facts Only. I went live on YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. Went live on YouTube last week. So here I am, live, doing what I'm trying to do. The Facebook, it looks like it's acting stupid. Can't front. Keep saying trying to reconnect. I don't really like that, like at all. That's gonna irritate my soul. I really don't like that. Can't even lie. I don't like it. But last week I did an episode called the vulnerability episode. This week is the growth episode. You know, I've been trying to do like a little vlog video thing with like me just talking about my growth, my personal development, my self-care, self-love journey, and all them things. So I just figured I'd be back doing it again. Because why not? Like, can't hurt. So I'm probably not going to be live on Facebook. This is stupid. It keeps on like giving me the stupid error. So I'm not going to be talking to people on Facebook. I'm just not, because it's dumb and it's going to irritate me. I don't have time for that. Like, not even slightly. That's not what I'm looking to be doing. That's dumb. That's dumb as hell. No, that's not what I want. And I didn't want to have to like edit it and all the other stuff. So, I don't like none of that. Delete. Why I don't have permission to edit this video? Turn this shit off. Dumb. I don't know what's going on with it, but I don't care. The show must go on. That's dumb. I thought it was going to work, but it ain't working. And like I said, I don't have time for that. That is annoying. Like, who has time for any of that? Who? Not me. Not me. Not at all. Not even a little bit. I don't have time for none of that. At all. It's dumb. It's just dumb. Anyway, let me get back to what I was talking about. Anyways, so last week we were doing our vulnerability episode, and I shared a spoken word piece. I was supposed to show the link to my Anchor account. I ain't do that. Forgive me. Or don't forgive me. That's up to you. What I'm going to do about it. So I'll probably put it in the description box tonight so that y'all can see it. But yeah, it was a really cool like spoken word piece that I had done last year, and just showing like the growth that I've seen in myself since then has been spectacular. And I just be wanting to share, trying to do this little vlog about my self-care and self-love and all the journeys that people go through spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, blah, 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 blah. Because that's just reality. I know we get a whole bunch of like different reality, quote unquote, reality shows and reality TV characters or whatever the fuck they think they are. But where's the real? At what point do we get exposed to the real? So, hi, I'm the real, and I'm going to expose myself to you just like that. So, this is the growth episode. And I'm calling it the growth episode because from learning vulnerability, which is what we spoke on last week. So from vulnerability comes growth. And I wanted to kind of like hone into that and like share with y'all like different things that I've learned since becoming vulnerable or since realizing that I needed to be more vulnerable and like going from there and how you grow from there and how you become a better person. Because I just posted on Facebook today, like, was it today? It might have been yesterday. Whatever. I posted it. Okay, go find it. Just being a better person to other people. It doesn't matter if you're a man being a better person to a woman being a better person to a man being a better person to a man, a woman being a better person to a woman, non-binaries being whatever, what the fuck ever. It doesn't matter what you are, what you identify as, how you identify, blah, blah, blah. You are a person, you are a human being, you're here, you're a mammal, you warm-blooded, whatever. You bleed the same way, breathe the same way, die the same way, live the same way, but a little bit different with a little twist or whatever. Like, we just need to be better people each and every day. Like, every day is another chance to be better than the person that you were yesterday or a couple minutes ago. Like, as long as you're making constant and consistent changes, no matter how big of a change that may be, as long as you're staying active, like, learn and grow, be a better person. And that's all we can ask for in life, right? Okay, so I'm gonna just touch base on a couple things that I learned that I feel like will be helpful. And I also think that if I had like the interactive like audience, that would have been a little bit easier. That's why I do like to go live on Facebook, because people comment and they share and whatever the case may be. But it don't like me today, and that's fine. Not really worried about it. We'll figure it out another time. There's a couple points that I want to go through. I think it's like 4 or 5. I'm just gonna kind of go off on them. First one is asking for what it is that you need, like, in general. So I realized like I had a really bad habit of like shutting down and closing myself off when I needed something or when I was without something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even like to tell people that I need something or like I don't have. Not even like material and physical type things, but even if it's like emotional, spiritual, you know, different stuff like that. So, like, no matter what kind of need it might be, whether it is a physical need, a financial need, a spiritual need, an emotional need, like whatever your need might be, nobody is a mind reader. So it's not going to go anywhere if you're not sharing what it is that you need. Nobody, like, closed mouths don't get fed. Closed palms don't get bread. Like, if you're not saying anything, if you're not telling anybody that you need something, how would they know? And not to say everybody who you tell is going to be able to help you, but if you're not saying anything, again, you're not going to get anywhere. It's not going to get anywhere. It never got anywhere with me. Not really. And then you get to the point where like you're so bogged down by whatever it is that you're going through. You finally do say something to somebody, and it's been like you've been struggling for weeks, months, feeling some type of way for a whole year. And they're like, why you ain't never say nothing? Like, what were you going to do if I did? Like, you got to get out of that mindset. You really do have to ask for what it is that you need. You need to make it clear, because it's painful to just sit around and struggle in silence when, you know, you're trying to build like that, not a safety net, but that support system, that team, that circle. those people that you can confide in, the people that you do trust in, the people who you genuinely love and they genuinely love you back type thing. So it's like, that also makes them feel some type of way when they feel like you can't come to them. Like, if anything, that puts a whole wedge between y'all, and it doesn't have to be that way. Like, you could have just said something. Like, you could have just said something. It's not that deep. Like, but I have a habit, like, I need to stop saying, like, that's a habit. But seriously, I developed this fear of being like severe. There go another like. I developed this fear of being misunderstood. I developed this fear of being taken advantage of, to the point where, you know, if I do need something, I'm not even going to tell you that I need something, because I'm going to tell you that I need something. You're going to take that as a weakness. And then what? You know, so it's easy to fall victim to your own intrusive thoughts, to your own negative feelings towards people, towards trust. People got trust issues. I understand that. However, when you open up and you allow others to like be that shoulder to cry on, if you allow yourself to lean on the people who genuinely love and care for you, you're going to build a stronger connection with people. Like, it's going to bring you closer to people. You're not going to feel so alone. You're going to know who's going to be there, and you're going to learn who's not going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Because vulnerability is learning to, you know, be open, be comfortable. And then you develop, I feel like you would develop a spirit of like discernment to know who you can and cannot be vulnerable with. So some people, you open up and you're vulnerable with them and they react a certain type of way. Boom. All right. Now, you know, all right, I was vulnerable in this situation and this is how they responded to me. So I know going forward that I might need to draw back, you know, like set up a certain type of boundary with that person. Going forward, it's really not that hard. Like, honestly, you just got to be able to communicate what you need. Be willing to expose your feelings. Like me, I'm a logical person, can't front. I'm a brainiac, I'm a nerd. It's facts over feelings. Okay, facts only. I don't play about facts. Like, people let feelings misconstrue things. Like, things get warped in their mentality, things get warped in their minds. That line between right and wrong gets blurred often because you adding your feelings into some shit, right? Everybody has gone through whatever they've gone through in life. They've seen certain things, they've been through certain things, they've heard certain things, they've experienced this, that, and the third, and that's fine. I'm not telling you that you're wrong about what your reality is. However, right is right and wrong is wrong all day long. You feel me? So when people allow their feelings to kind of blur lines and create gray areas that should not really even be there to begin with, but they're there because you wanted to ooze and drip feelings onto that shit. Oh my God. Like, I can't. Like, it's making me sick just thinking about it. Like, it's dumb. So a lot of the times I feel myself like pushing my feelings to the side and just focusing solely on the rational and logical aspects of things. Like, my standpoint is really just cutthroat. Like, this is this. 1 + 1 is 2. What we finna do? Like, I don't really. I don't be having time for everything else. So that made me come across as, you know, cold, insensitive, stoic. I seem like I don't care. Seems like I'm not affectionate. You know what I'm saying? And I probably lost out on a lot of different relationships, connections, opportunities to grow, opportunities to build with that like standoffish attitude, like not being able to really like expose and properly express what it is that I'm feeling just because, I was taking feelings completely out of it. I didn't feel nothing. I think, therefore I am. But like the feeling thing, I don't feelings. Give a fuck about your feelings. Just don't. Because feelings change. You know what I'm saying? Like feelings are so like circumstantial. Like if this happened and this happened and this happened, then I would feel like this and this and this. And then this and this and this actually happens. And then your feelings, the things that you said you would do, the way you said you would handle it, are completely and totally different. But you gotta leave room in your vulnerability for some serenity as well. Knowing the things that you can control, accepting the things you can't control, the wisdom to know the difference, and like that's part of being vulnerable too, because you're vulnerable enough to know, you know what, this is what I want in my life. This is what life really is. I'm accepting what life really is. However, I recognize that I can change this, and this, and I gotta leave this, and this alone because that's just steadfast and it is what it is. So there's a way to like bring feelings into logic as well and let it go hand in hand. And I'm learning that slowly but surely. And I'm just gonna be just turning into a better person. But I had to do my own research. I had to look within. I couldn't wait for somebody else to tell me what they wanted to tell me, because a lot of people will try to like school you on you. I don't like when people try to school me about me. You don't know me. You looking at me and you think you know, but you have no fucking idea. You think you know me, don't you? I don't like that. I don't like that. You don't know me until you know me. And I'll be the one to tell you if you know me or not. Don't be outside telling you know me, you don't know me. I promise you, you don't. I promise you, you do not know me. But I'm learning with my vulnerability, I do have to open up and, express myself effectively, appropriately, blah, blah, blah. Baby steps. Baby steps. Self-awareness is key. Emotional intelligence is very important to me. Intelligence overall is important to me, but emotional intelligence has a special place in my heart because emotional intelligence is the IQ on me. Like, to know thyself, like, damn, what a concept. Because a lot of people is outside trying to chase God. You chasing after God and knowing God and hoping that God delivers and God receives and God blesses and God, not realizing that God is within. So look here, check here first. If you haven't heard from God in a while, that's because you're not reflecting. You're not looking at yourself. And if you are looking at yourself, it's from a motherfucking bird's eye view, way too far. Nothing's in proper perspective at all. You got it fucked up. And you're just waiting for somebody who was passed down from generation to generation to kind of fix it. Sprinkle some Salt Bae, fix it, Jesus ass shit on your shit. No, like, if you want to know God, start with knowing yourself. Trust me. Trust me. He just spoke to me. I heard it. Clairaudient. If you want to know God, know yourself first. Cause you're gonna come to a motherfucker like God, and he gonna look at you like, who are you? And if you can't tell that motherfucker who you are, then, and I don't mean no disrespect when I say motherfucker, that's how I communicate. I cuss. It doesn't matter what I'm talking about. I might throw a cuss word in there. Others might find that like irreverent, inappropriate, disrespectful. I really don't care what you think. So there's that. I am who I am, and my vulnerability is opening up and being that flawed individual. I'm still a good person. I might curse, but I'm still a good person. I'm not going to go outside and do some fucked up shit. I know the difference between being a good person and being a fucked up ass individual. And I really feel like that's the only thing that matters. Whether I have a potty mouth or the mouth of somebody. Matter of fact, it don't even matter who else's mouth it is. I got my mouth, and my mouth curses. So if your mouth don't curse, then that's your business. But I'm getting off topic. I'm not going to digress. We growing. It's the growth episode. It's the growth episode, and that's fine. So if I'm cursing, then I'm cursing, and that's just what it's gonna be. If you feel away, you're gonna feel away. Caulk your ears. But just because I curse does not mean that I'm a bad person. It flow better for me. I don't care. But yeah, I was just talking about, being willing to expose your feelings and expressing them, and, being willing to share how you feel is definitely going to help you bring people close to you, just like how telling people what you need is going to bring them closer to you. The more you open up and the more vulnerable you become, not saying being vulnerable and being like irresponsible with your feelings and being irresponsible with what you're sharing, because people can take advantage if you don't have appropriate boundaries set up. And that's not what I'm telling you to go outside and do at all. Not saying go outside and be free willy and just get it fucked up. That ain't it. That ain't it, chief. What I'm saying is be healthy, be mindful, but be open. Like, be willing. Be willing to grow, be willing to be open, be willing to really express who it is that you are with no apology. Be vulnerable. Who gonna check you, boo? Say what you want. I think that was my favorite point. Like, say what you want. Being vulnerable and being strong enough to say whatever the fuck it is that you want to say, that's important. That's important too. Have no fear over what it is that you need to express. Say what you want to say. Say what you need to say. It's important to know, like, sometimes, it's not what you say, it's how and when you say it. Sometimes certain situations don't call for you to say something right away. Sometimes you do need to let things cool off before you start ripping heads off, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you got to be mindful of your audience. You got to be mindful of where you are and what you're doing, and, the message that you're trying to get across. Not all the time can I go somewhere and just be cussing up a storm because I know there are kids there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to influence the kids and have kindergartners, fifth graders going somewhere dropping F-bombs and calling people motherfuckers and calling people niggas or whatever the case may be. Like, know when to switch it up. Know how to switch it up depending on your audience, depending on the message that you're trying to get across. Speaking of like what your audience is, like, all right, so niggas be trying to flirt, right? Okay, so for me, all that, oh, me and you gonna fight, and oh, I'm gonna punch you in your face, and oh, da da da, I don't like that shit. That shit is not cute to me. You cannot flirt with me certain ways. And like, I've expressed that to people. That's part of my vulnerability, not going along with things that I don't feel comfortable with. When dudes say like, oh, we about to fight, I'd be like, really? Like, you threatening me is cute? Like, threatening me is like a term of endearment? Like, you thought I was supposed to And like, I know and I understand, like, oh, I'm not serious, but I still don't like it. I prefer people to be very intentional with their words. Like I said, I'm kind of like a logical person. So when you tell somebody that you want to fight, ding, 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 I think you want to fight. So ding, 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 what's up? Like, you can't talk to everybody the same type of way. Not everything works for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So y'all really have to be well versed. Y'all really need to be able to communicate in different rooms with different people. I've seen people who spend more of their time like in the hood and like talking to hood ass niggas who, not saying like they're not intelligent, but they have a certain type of vernacular. And when they're around people who aren't like that or who don't speak that same way, they can't really like accent switch. You know what I'm saying? Not saying like you got to be a fake version of anything, not saying that, but you should be able to carry on a conversation where you can be understood and people, like, you understand them and they understand you. And it's just like that. I'm not saying don't be who you are, but like, this is about vulnerability. You should be able to be exactly who you are. Make sure people know who you are. Make sure you're expressing who you are in ways that are efficient, effective. People know who you are. If you a hood ass nigga, be that hood ass nigga. Even DMX knew how to like switch up his tone. He was still DMX, and you always heard, rest in peace to him though. You always heard it in his voice that like that's DMX. Like his voice was very distinctive. But I was watching a clip of him on Dr. Phil. And even though it was still that rough ass DMX voice, like it was a little bit softer because it was Dr. Phil. You know what I'm saying? Like, know who you're talking to, know your audience. It's not what you say, it's how and when you say it sometimes as well. Just be mindful. Be mindful, but always express exactly what you really think. Honesty is the best policy. First person to be honest with, though, is your damn self. So a lot of the stuff I had to learn. I had to learn that I'm not really that vulnerable. I had to learn that I'm not really that great at expressing my feelings and telling people how I feel, because I felt like niggas don't really care how you feel. Let's just get to the business. I'm very business minded. My mind is very calculated. So every move has to be efficient. Every move has to be beneficial. Everything has to be a certain kind of way. Even when I'm in my moods where I'm flighty with a purpose. Like, I'm flighty because there's room for me to be flighty in certain situations, you know? So you have to express who it is that you are, know who you are, and go with the flow. Be authentic in your interactions, be authentic in your connections, be authentic in your conversations. If you genuinely want growth, you genuinely have to go about it a certain type of way. If you want to see results, you're gonna have to put in work. It's gonna be uncomfortable. You're not always gonna like it, and you're gonna have to get over it because you have somewhere to be. You have a goal to reach. Duh. Like, come on. Like, just be authentic. Be authentic in the interactions and the exchanges and the connections and all of that you have with the people around you. Do that. It's only going to benefit you and them. It's going to bring them closer to you because they feel more comfortable with you, because not only are you being vulnerable with who you are, not only are you expressing and showing them exactly who you are, now they're getting comfortable with you. Now they're trusting you. Now they're drawing themselves closer to you. Now they're more willing to do things with you, for you, around you. That's up to you. That's completely and totally up to you. Everybody has their own things going on. Everybody is a different zodiac sign, born on a different moon, new moon, blue moon, half moon, full moon, whatever the fuck. Natal charts, everybody going through different trauma, everybody raised in different religions, everybody raised in different types of households and different type of rural communities and urban communities and suburbs and cities and whatever the fuck. Like, everybody has their own shit going on. Everybody is experiencing life in a different type of way. with a different kind of dynamic. You have to be mindful of what's going on with you so that when it comes time to be mindful about what's going on with others, you can kind of pinpoint your role and play it right. You could come into somebody's life and they need you to play a certain type of role. But if you're not comfortable playing that role, if you don't have the tools to play that role, if you're underqualified or not qualified at all or overqualified, that is something you have to be honest with yourself about. And that's something you need to be honest with them about. Honesty is the best policy in damn near every situation, brethren. So get your shit right. Get your shit tight. Let's do this. It's really not that hard. Just be present. Be present in the moment. Understand who you are. Understand that things are changing. Understand that today is not going to be the same day as yesterday unless you make it that way. If you want growth, if you want something different, keep watering yourself, keep feeding yourself, keep nourishing yourself. Go outside, get some sun, get some vitamin D in your life. Feel me? Like, it's up to you. Like, what type of actions are you taking? What kind of actions have you taken to get to where that you want to go? Like, what steps are you taking? What are you doing? Where are you trying to go? Before you start doing all that moving and grooving, where are you trying to go? What are you trying to get at? Like, it's really important to set your goals, set realistic goals that are attainable, goals that are very specific. Be intentional about where it is that you're trying to go and how long you expect for it to take you to get there. And with that, start moving. Look stuff up. Like, I had to look up, like, how is vulnerability going to help me? How is vulnerability helping my self-growth? How is vulnerability going to benefit me? Like, I really needed to know, because vulnerability has gotten such a negative stigma. It's just like, why would I want to be vulnerable? Because anytime anybody boohoo crying over a motherfucker, they said that they were vulnerable. That don't sound good to me. That never sounded good to me. Being vulnerable. Oh my God. Y'all gonna come for me? I'm about to be a fucking victim. Y'all know people love being victims. Like, I ain't want nothing to do with that. Nothing. I didn't want nothing to do with it at all. Not even slightly. So it's just erasing all of the negative stigmas, the negative thoughts, the negative feelings towards being vulnerable, and twisting that up and just growing and being a better person and growing and learning how to be the best version of myself. Because if I'm going to be doing worse than I was doing yesterday, if I'm going to be doing the same as I was doing yesterday, then I'm not really progressing. I'm not really going anywhere. And that's not okay with me. And it shouldn't be okay with you. At the end of the day, when somebody comes into contact with me, when somebody interacts with me, when I come into somebody's life, I want to make a positive change for them. I want to motivate them to be a better version of themselves. And I kind of expect that same energy from them as well. Like, you should be in my life to make me better, to show me something. Even if, like, our ending was, because all things come to an end at some point. Not saying people just come in and out of your, people should just be coming in and out of your life like a revolving door. That's not what I'm saying. You know, you want some longevity with a lot of the, not a lot of people, but the genuine people, the people you care for, the people that you've grown and built that rapport with. You want some longevity in those relationships, but sometimes they don't. So if there's ever a negative or bad ending with anybody, even that should make you a better person. Like, you should have learned something, taken something away from that experience and grown to being a better person. That way, the next time you meet up with somebody and the next time you come across that lesson, you know how to handle it. You know how to deal with it to avoid like bad endings or to avoid confrontation or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So every day is a day to learn, to grow. love is life and life is loving. I don't know. Very special. Whatever the fuck they be talking about. It is what it is. This is the growth episode. Facts only. I'll be back next Monday after work. Tuesday, Wednesday is my day off. Feel me? So y'all get me when y'all get me, and that's Monday nights. Because that's when I feel like it. So thank y'all for tuning in. I really love and appreciate y'all. I'm gonna figure out how to get that whole Facebook dual recording thing going. But if I don't, I'm really not pressed about it. I'm gonna just keep doing my YouTube thing and y'all can figure it out. I'll figure it out later. Like, share, subscribe, rate, take. Chose too bad with 3Ds underscore on Instagram. She Chelsea, SHE, then how you spell my name on Facebook. I don't think I have enough friends allowed to add. Like, I think it's a 5,000 limit. I'm almost at my limit, and I've been off of Facebook for almost a year. I just came back so I could use Marketplace, but I'm back so I could do facts only and stuff like that because people have been telling me they missed it. So I'm back. But yeah, I'm off this. Peace and love to y'all. Until next week. Later.